Well, friends, you're looking at a dinosaur now, and little did I realize when Don McClanahan approached me and I was a young Presbyterian pastor that my picture someday would be But what a privilege. You make my day. How lucky I have been, and I know that's not a good theological term. It's all predestined and all of that. I'm a Presbyterian. But I have been so fortunate to have been living and dreaming and walking this FCA dream since 1954, when this young coach from eastern Oklahoma came out to Southern California and talked to Don Mumaw and Rayford Johnson and some other friends and said, hey, I've got a vision. That vision hadn't changed. It's right here at the bottom of your program. To see the world impacted for Jesus Christ through the influence of athletes and coaches. I remember the first article that was ever done in the national media, Sports Illustrated, the caption was, Hero Worship Harnessed. And we sort of reacted to that. We said, no, we're not hero worshipers. That's how the press saw us. I would imagine they continue to see us, and that's okay. Let's get it that way. We're trying to harness some energy here. But it's not about hero worship. It's not about athletic worship. It's about Jesus worship. And that's who we are. And I am always so pleased every time I have the opportunity to touch in. Now as an observer, basically, I finally learned at age 80, 5 years ago, how to retire. And I prefer to be an observer, and I love observing you folks at work, as I love observing you kids on the field, as I love observing a whole lot of things about life, because I believe that God is very much at work in this world, regardless of what goes on in any given week or any given place or time. And then we not only built on Don's vision, but we also defined the mission. And it means a lot to me personally, and I'm so grateful that the mission statement you have printed here is what God led us to hammer out back in 1954 and 55. And in that mission statement, to present to athletes and coaches and all whom they influence the challenge and adventure of receiving Jesus Christ as Savior and Lord, serving Him in their relationships and in the fellowship of the church. And there were two poles around which that mission statement evolved, and I am so grateful to you folks who continue in the leadership, and I commend you on what you're doing here this morning. The one pole is Jesus Christ. We are people, irrespective of our background, and even now, it was a radical thing when you women started getting into these circles. And that didn't start with our theological leadership. That started with Title IX of the NCAA. God works through many different channels and through many different ways. And we responded basically to Title IX. And now, how wonderful that it isn't even a matter of gender. It is a matter of being a man or a woman, a boy or a girl who is willing to stand up and say, and not only say, but demonstrate, Jesus Christ is Lord. But God works through human agencies and through human people, and we call that the church. Well, God led us to move ahead, crazy bunch of people. A lot of us, I wasn't one of them, but some of my friends played football before the helmets were very good, and it definitely had an effect on their lives. So we went ahead and we said it's not a matter of ethnicity, it's not a matter of gender, it's a matter of personhood. It is boys, women, men and girls, all of us alike who say Jesus is Lord. And that puts us in this thing that we call the church. And the church simply is wherever people are gathered together, committed to Jesus Christ, who start, as I hope you will start every day of your life, asking, what does a human life look like when Jesus Christ is really Lord? Well, that's who we are, and I commend you on what you are doing. We've always struggled with FCA in California. Mark and I have had a little conversation this morning. God bless you. I pray for you. I commend you. Keep up the good work, not for FCA, but for Jesus Christ and the church.
Please welcome our local leader, Ben Mulder.